Okay, I've marked the edges with marker, the edges of the top or the back part of the sides. I have two planes I have to work on. This, the head block and this ramp here, and then the tail block in this flat section. And I'm going to take the sanding board. I'll start on the ramp towards the head block. And I'll just pass this along at that angle and watch what happens to the marker. And there's also pencil on the head block and tail block, hash marks in pencil there. And what I want to do is I want to initially get the sides on a level parallel to each other, so that when I pass the sanding board across them, it's taking the material off of both sides evenly. So I'll just pass it across and watch what happens. And now I can see that I've got a high spot on the side that's facing the camera. And so I'll take the hand plane and I'll plane that down a bit, because I know it's high here. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and remark the edges of the side again here on this plane where I've been removing wood with the sanding board. And it's back to the sanding board, and I'll pass it back across it again. And look where it's taken off material, and we'll go back and forth with the sanding board in the hand plane until the sanding board begins to take material off on both sides evenly. It's just a matter of trial and error until it starts working right. So, and this takes quite a bit of time. Much longer than this video. I edited this video because you don't want to sit and watch me stand here and do this for an hour and a half, 2 hours. But it takes time, it takes patience. It's not going to happen in a few minutes. So back with the marker, back with the sanding board, until I start getting where I'm taking material off of both sides evenly. And so now you see me with the winding sticks, which are wonderful things. You can eye down them and see whether things are straight or level, or whether they're twisted or anything of the sort. They're wonderful tools, and I believe I have a video on here showing how to make them. And so now what I have to do is I have to work on this flat plane now. There's marker on the sides there, and there's also pencil marks on the heel block. And it's the same thing, only now I'm keeping it flat on this section alone. And this is just initial shaping. We'll have to go back in another video and refine that arch even more. But all I'm really trying to do here is get a final rough shape into the back section of the sides so that I can install linings, curved linings on the back like we did to the front. what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get ready. The humidity is dropping inside the house where the back and the side wood is being stored, because we turned the furnace off for winter, or turned the furnace on rather, for winter. And the wood has got to be at a certain humidity before I can join it, thickness it, brace it, or glue it to the sides. So these winding sticks are out again, and I'm checking that. This part was easier because I had already leveled it initially when I leveled the sides the first time. So what I want to do now is put the curved linings in, and I'll have to put them in 4 pieces, 2 pieces per side, because I have 2 different planes on each side that I have to worry about. That arched, or that slanted plane that goes toward the head block, and the flat plane that goes back toward the heel block. The linings will not conform there where those 2 planes meet, so I have to cut the linings at that point and install them separately so that they remain at the same height above the edge of the sides, which will be about a 32nd of an inch. And this is the same thing you saw me doing when I installed the front linings, or top linings rather. The top and the back. I say front a lot, but the top of the guitar. I have to say that I'm really, really happy to have been able to get out and do a little bit of this work. I have been sick with the flu. Those of you that watch my shaving channel already know that, but if all you watch is this channel, I've been sick with the flu for 10 days, something like that, and not been able to actually come out and do anything. So it's wonderful to be able to come out here and work. Now, I know you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I've got to get this lining right, or these curved linings right, the height above the edge of the sides correct, and I really can't play around a whole lot. I'll move to a different area soon and you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but I have to get this right, and whether you can see it or not is not my main concern at this point. And there you see me taking great care to make sure that that lining is about a 32nd of an inch proud. And I'm just going to place a few close pins along the way to get it positioned properly. And then I'll come back and install the rest of them. And not only are the clothespins acting as clamps, but when I go to install this lining, what I will do is I will press the lining to the sides before I actually attach a clothespin to that side, just to do everything that I can to make sure that that they adhere well to the sides, the clamping pressure is good and even, all of that kind of thing, because I want to be able to do my very best to ensure that this joint is not compromised in any kind of way. This is one of the most important joints in the instrument, and it's got to be solid. And so now I'm coming back And I'm putting as many clothespins as I can, as close together as I can get them, same as I did for the top, to spread that clamping pressure as much as I can, and make sure that the connection is going to be solid, the glue joint. And I don't know if you can hear, I'm doing a voiceover, and my wife is in the kitchen. I've got the doors closed, but she is talking to her mother, and I can hear them plain as day. I don't know if this microphone is picking it up. I'm hoping that it's not, but if it is, that's what you're hearing. That's my mother-in-law. She's 94, 95. Absolutely wonderful woman. I love her pretty much as I loved my own mother. And we won't have her for very much longer. Hopefully she'll live to be 120, but, you know, the chances of that aren't good. But just to hear her voice, still hear her voice, is a blessing. So, alright, I'm coming close to the end of this section. And I've already pre-cut these so they're easy for me to go ahead and install. And so now let's spread some glue on this and finish up the this side. And what I'll do is I'll put this on, and I will then move to the other side and do the exact same thing that I did here to the other side. But I won't video that. I'll show you the finished product here in just a bit. We'll switch to it. Making sure it's just a little bit proud. And there's the finished product. I will let that dry for 24 hours at least, or until the next time it warms up and I can work out here. And then we'll move on to the next step in this project. But thanks for watching. God bless you. And I'll talk to you later.